Welcome back to the Urban Action Showcase and Expo virtual experience. I am your host, founder, executive producer Demetrius Angelo, and I have some esteemed guests as we've been promising. This is La Femme Fatale, Women of Martial Arts Action Cinema. I've got my partner and moderator here, Jeff Vita from the Kung Fu Drive-In podcast. We've got Vanessa Campos from the new film Never Back Down, coming out November 16th. I'm going to hand the reins over to him because he does it like none other. As you know, the Kung Fu Drive-In Theater podcast is among the top 2% guys of the action podcast. So you guys definitely, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. We'll put the information in the chat. But sir, Mr. Jeff Vita, go ahead and take it over. It's all yours.
Thank you, Demetrius. It's great to be back with the Urban Action Showcase Expo, and I'm super excited for this panel. This panel is always near and dear to my heart to speak with the women of action cinema, and we have some amazing guests today. Right now, we have Vanessa Campos, who is going to be in the new film Never Back Down, Revolt, coming out November 16th. And before we get started, Vanessa, I do want to wish you an upcoming happy birthday. Is that correct?
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm getting older.
Older, aging like a fine wine, of course.
Hi, guys.
And speaking of Never Back Down Revolt, we have the director, Kellie Madison, hopping in. Kellie, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for having me. Hi, darling.
Hello. Oh my gosh,
How are
birthday.
you?
Yes, I was
Thank
going to
you.
say that too. Happy belated birthday to you, Kellie.
Thank you so much. Yeah, yesterday. So when's yours, Vanessa?
Yesterday.
What?
Yes.
We're both on the 12th?
Yes.
Oh my God, we didn't know that.
Oh,
Sorry.
and coming
Hi,
in right
guys.
now, Neetu, Chandra, Srivastava. How are you, Neetu?
I am good. How are you? Hi, Kelly. Hi, Vanessa. Hi, guys. So good to
Hello,
see you.
darling.
Your kung fu
Excellent.
is good, but mine is better, huh? Right.
No. That's just a saying. I'm definitely not putting my kung fu up against you whatsoever.
Against all of us together, no way. You can never win. Sorry.
Yeah.
Including the leader, my director. So you have to know
I
that.
will
Check it
concede
out.
that now. Conceding without any argument whatsoever.
And that superstar girl sitting, Vanessa, you've seen her pictures and the way she does her kung fu. Oh my God. So our kung fu is better.
I guarantee it is. But
So wait,
thank you all so much.
Neetu, did you know that Vanessa's a November 12th birthday as well yesterday?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Let's
crazy.
sing for her. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy
to
birthday,
both
dear
of
Vanessa.
us.
Happy
Amazing.
birthday to you. Love
That's amazing.
you. So both
Very cool.
the superstars' birthdays are on 12th of November.
Yes.
Take off my coat.
Well, you're all superstars, and I know the film is coming out November 16th. Never Back Down, Revolt. And while you're all here, I want to wish you all the best of luck. I'm looking forward to what you guys all bring to the table for the film. It's a great franchise, so I'm looking forward to the new direction. Are you guys excited? I mean, obviously you guys are excited, but how excited are you that this film is finally getting out there? Kellie, let me start with you as the director of the film.
Yes, we worked our asses off on this movie as per usual that people do on every film. And so we're actually insanely excited about it. And I'm getting great reviews. Did you get a screener yet?
I did not.
Okay. So you didn't see it, but I'm getting good feedback. Like
Good,
today
good.
I got a review from one of the journalists that said the women are all amazing. And I'm like, of course they are, my girls. Yeah, they really, the cast is, I know that everyone says this on their movie, but in this case, the cast really is spectacular.
Vanessa, what about
But
you?
not-
Your first movie. This is a great experience as a first film, no?
Oh my God, I was so nervous and I loved every moment. I was like literally like just I was so scared, but Neetu, director Kelly, all the girls, they really made me feel welcomed. I mean, I was so intimidated by everyone, but man, oh man, it was like, honestly, thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Neetu.
Oh
Of
my
course,
God,
you are
of
most welcome.
course.
Whew.
Yeah, we had such a great group.
Yes.
And Neetu, from what I understand, your martial arts ability led directly to you getting involved with this film.
That's right. That's actually right. I met David Zilon for the screening of Bad Boys, and I was talking to him, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're an actress. What else do you do?" I said, "I'm a martial artist. I've been doing Taekwondo since my childhood. I love it and all of it. And I've been waiting for doing an action movie." And he's like, "Here it is. I offer you Never Back Down Revolt. I am on here." And then I met my director. I was super impressed with the kind of passion she has. And we went to London, and David told me, "I am so glad that I did this blind bet on you, and it really worked very well." Then I met my team: Vanessa, Hannah, Olivia, Brooke, Diana. And I'll tell you, the whole film is incomplete without each other. And the leader, Kelly, the way she roped us all in every step, every emotion, every scene, which is a very well spoken, very well storyteller. As I can say, the story was told in such a beautiful, emotional way that it touched my heart. This movie is surely going to be a super close film for me, and my first film in
Excellent.
Hollywood.
Well, I was a fan of Kelly's for work that she did a while ago already. So it's The Gate, which she did with Amy Johnson. Amy has been on the show several times. Amazing work then. I look forward to what Never Back Down Revolt is going to add to the franchise and to action film in general. So good luck, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Were you
Well,
a fan of the franchise before?
yeah, there,
Okay.
it's gone through so many iterations already. So yeah.
Well,
Wow.
this one's going to be very different. This one, I don't know if know this already, but we did not. It's a complete rebranding of the franchise. We did not go with any of the same storylines, characters, dialogue. Tonally, it's different. The color palette is different. The way we shot it, everything feels so different about it. So hopefully, that most Never Back Down audience members will feel like it's a refreshing change rather than kind of sticking with the same thing. But I'm sure there's going to be some people. We already had some people saying that they miss Michael Jai White, and of course we all love Michael Jai White, and he's super talented and
Yeah.
whatnot. But hopefully they'll appreciate like just the artistic change, heading in a different artistic direction.
I also
Uh,
feel that it's the story of today. Today we needed this. It's about empowerment of women uniting together, fighting together, which is very important. I think the world has changed a lot, and we have to realize that women have to stand with women together, and that's the most powerful thing. And that's what we have shown in this movie, off and on screen. I realized it later that we actually stood together every way possible. So this is the story of today, which Kelly has literally paved the path for all of us.
yeah.
well, Neetu, that's a great segue into the first I want to bring up to you guys. Are we at a place now where we can just categorize action stars as action stars and not necessarily male action stars or female action stars, or is there value in differentiating male action stars from female action stars and giving them each their own spotlight? Neetu, let me start with you since you brought us to this point.
Well, I think all those action, female or male, should be together. And that's how standing with each other together, this is how we will take up the society in a very different way, in a very positive, united way, because I think we are incomplete without each other. I would not favor that, okay, women have to do or the men have to do. No, it has to be together, going ahead together in terms of art. And action is an art form, which any art form, when we don't differentiate between men and women, I think here also we need to take it ahead together.
Vanessa, how about you?
I agree with Neetu. I think there is value in seeing both male and female, to be combined together and have a powerful force. But I think also when you see a female action star, especially in Asian cinema, in Filipino cinema, we already do it with Christine Reyes and Maria. The Night Comes for Us in Indonesia. Michelle Yeoh. I mean, they're so powerful in their own right that there doesn't need to be. They need to be another comparison to man, if you know what I mean. I feel like they're so real and there's no bravado to them, that they become so unique and original in their own characters.
Kellie, how about you? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I agree with everything the ladies had to say, and it's super smart to say that because just in my directing path, you know, the one thing that makes me uncomfortable is when people are like, "Oh, well, she's a female director, so she should only direct a female empowered movie." Which I'm happy to direct a female empowered movie like Never Back Down, but I also can direct men. Like, we don't have to isolate one gender or another in our journey of having equality. I just want equality and balance. There's plenty of stories that I've written that are just like, I see them as a male oriented story. You know, so it doesn't have to. So I just think but I know that when you're trying to evoke change in anything, and especially in our business, the pendulum has to swing very far in the other direction to kind of come back somewhere in the center. But so having said that, yeah, storytelling is storytelling. So sometimes the story is going to be centered around a woman, sometimes a man, maybe sometimes both. But getting to fight scenes, what's I find intriguing is that's what you saw in The Gate, and not as much in Never Back Down, Revolt, just by the nature of the story. But that's why you saw in The Gate that I put Amy fighting other men, because I like actually seeing women and men fight each other. And just like the dynamics of that are super fascinating. That there are powerful women that can fight men. So I like those fight scenes, but I just think a blend of everything is also like super intriguing. And there's in this journey for empowering women, we have no interest in, trying to like suppress the male gender or anything like that. So I agree with both the ladies.
Yeah.
And also, I wanted to add I wanted to add Kelly's point of this view, because while we were shooting, I think there were so many, as much as I remember, so many fight choreographies where Kelly has changed things, which has come out 10 times actually. And Vanessa will agree with that. There's changed things which have come out so much better than what originally was given to us. So I was like, oh, wow. And in the morning, I told Kelly, only if you had not changed that, this question of a journalist saying, oh my God, who did this and how a girl did this. So I don't want to spoil it for anyone. That's why I'm not giving out the questions and the specific names. But few stunts were done by Kelly, changed the whole thing. Even if like smallest of the things, where when you fight in movies, you will see people screaming, and I don't remember if Kelly remembers it. She would say, we will like, yeah, wah, yeah, and Kelly comes and she's like, shh, we don't fight like that. We don't. Did you get it? 17.27% down. All right, Kelly will do that. And when you see it on screen, the reality is it comes out so well. This shows the nuances on which she works. Doesn't matter, male, women, male, female, doesn't matter. The way she has put it there, we look fabulous because of that thought process and nuances. So it's for everyone. It's an action movie where the director knows her job, which is what I'm very proud of, to be a part of that movie.
Yeah, that's great. And speaking of that, again, when you're talking about the action, great action translates well on screen. If you guys are into it and you've trained and you've got the story behind it, all of that translates well on screen. Off screen, though, some of the things that might be an obstacle to getting to that point where it's just action stars, not male or female action stars. It can be something as simple as the language, like the reviews that contextualize a film as a female John Wick or a female Bourne Ultimatum, that kind of thing, where it becomes an inherent separation right off the bat, and there's nothing you can do about it because that's how they've the sandbox that they've placed you into. Can we get to a point where it's not a female something, and it's just, here's an action heroine, here's a great story, complemented by amazing fighting? What do we need to do to get there? Kelly, what do you think?
My declarative statement is yes, please, let's get there. Because I just want to be considered to a good director, not like, oh, she's a good female director and she's only on the female directors list. I just want to be and of course we don't have that language with male directors. We don't say, wow, that's Steven Spielberg, he's such a good male director. Like, can you imagine saying that? It's
Yeah.
not in our consciousness. It just
Yes.
doesn't exist. And I actually got one of the best compliments from our producer, David Zaylon, who said when someone called him up and said they were looking for a female director. And so he recommended me, which is so lovely. But he said, you know, she's not just a good female director, she's a good director. So yeah, I'd love to not have those, adjectives or pronouns or nouns, whatever it is, in front of the other noun. I just want it to be a director and an actor, and a powerful, so that they're just the star of the movie. It's not like the female heroine. It's just the,
Yeah.
So it would be great, but our consciousness is changing, and it's taking a while, but it's getting there. And I'm just glad that we're having this evolution period, even if it's super slow. It's, as you know, it's still slow. I mean,
Sure.
what do you think about it? I'd love to get your opinion on the topic.
Well, it is slow. It's an evolution that I think it's not nearly where it should be. But I'm conscious of that because, and maybe I'm more conscious of it nowadays because I have 3 daughters, and I want heroines for them to look up to. I want them to be able to see themselves on screen, see them represented on screen and elsewhere. And I don't want them to have to think, well, I have to find a female hero to look up to. I just want them to be able to say, well, there's another hero for me to look up to, male or female.
Yeah.
And that language isn't quite there yet, in my opinion. That contextualization isn't there quite yet. But like you said, we are getting there. And, as we get more stars up there and we stop talking about it as male or female, then, it'll take a little bit more,
Yeah.
I think. But, we're trying. I think we're trying. Vanessa, you're new to the entertainment world. What do you think? Were you aware of that kind of thing, or is it changing for you?
Absolutely. I mean, back when, who did we look up to? As females, like which action stars we look up to. Now it's changing, and I think it all goes down to us speaking about it. This is great. The fact that we're speaking about it and putting it out there. You'll never know. A little girl can hear this and it can, oh, actually, I can look up to this. And again, it doesn't have to be male or female, right? And it also goes down to the media. Who's objectifying us? It's them that's putting us out there this way. We're not doing it. It's the eyes of the public that wants to see us and objectify us that way. And I feel like it all goes down to that,
Yeah.
Speak about it. Goes down to the directors. Thanks to Kellie for creating a story of female empowerment. Our producers, David Zellin, the actors, Neetu. It's all of us together. Again, we have to be a united front. If it's not united, then there's division, right?
Yeah. Neetu, you're a veteran of the industry. So what is your take? Have you seen that evolution? Has it been more and more apparent as we've gone?
But I totally agree with all 3 of you because, I really want this to happen. Please make it happen where we're not talking about male, female, action-oriented movies. I come from a place where, even in India, from a very small place where girls don't dream of becoming actors or sports girls. I come from Bihar, where Buddhism started from, and it's on the eastern west side of India. I'm the first one coming from there to represent India in Taekwondo. That was the time when I was a really little kid, and my mother was like, "It's a female action thing, and you have to do and participate in the female sports and female Taekwondo and female martial artists." And I used to only practice with guys. I never used to practice with girls. I didn't know the difference between a girl and a guy practicing. I only knew that practicing was important, and if I would practice with guys, I would train better, and all of this was better because they will not care you got hurt, not got hurt. Or I don't want it to be like, oh my god, I got hurt, oh my god, my knees are hurting, oh my hands. Was never like that. I was always a sports girl, so I didn't realize male, women, male, female, all those things. And that's how I've been brought up. My mother was like, go fight it, win and come, otherwise don't come home. She never told me. Yeah, she always scared me saying, win and come over, otherwise don't come home, I will not get you in. So I never realized the difference between male female until I see this female oriented movie. Even this, when I started doing the interview of this movie, and India, India doesn't come out with a lot of female action movies. And why I'm saying it, because that was one of the reasons for me to look outside, to look for opportunities for the skills which my mother had like literally inculcated in me. That was
Mm.
the reason that I came out to do. So when I started doing the interviews, they said, oh, you have done a female oriented action movie. And then it came to my mind, oh, it is a female oriented action movie. Because before that, we were thinking Never Back Down, Ford Part, and it's going to be a different outlook because of the unity and empowerment of women. I never thought female oriented action movie. And if you see all the interviews I've done, they have written Neetu Chandra is a part of female oriented action movies, which I
Yeah,
still don't understand. It's like
yeah,
people saying, you've started doing theater, you've stopped acting. So it comes to that, and we are really
yeah.
praying and looking forward to doing movies where we say action movies, and Vanessa and me are there, and Jackie Chan and everybody is there in the movie, and say, "Oh, Kelly is directing an action movie where these people
Yeah.
are a part of it."
Yeah.
So on that point, and I'm going to bring it to something much more superficial, but it's something that I think is just as indicative of where we're not quite there yet. But something as simple as wardrobe for action movies, particularly where it's female led. Um, Guys can be in head to toe gear. They can have pads all over the place, and nobody bats an eye because that's just how it is. But if you put a female in anything that is not bearing their midriff or showing off leg or showing as much skin as possible, um, somehow that's not the image that we should be putting on screen for an action heroine. And
I would,
yeah, yeah,
sorry,
no,
go
no, talk to me about that. How do we
I,
reconcile that?
I would
Because
I would answer that because I know for the fact that Kelly made sure that the skin show was the least possible, and she would not say it for herself, but she left it to us. She's like, okay, you wear and see what. So if you see my clothes, there is nothing shown, but I really got an opportunity to kick ass there. Did like whatever the best I was told to, but there was nothing like I was not had to show midriff or sleeves, as whoever was however comfortable, and Vanessa will know that we were giving a whole wardrobe and you choose. So on this movie, that was not the experience, but yes, in general we have seen, and what you're saying is absolutely right. Girls have to wear the minimalistic clothes, the miniest of the shorts and these sports bras, where you're basically, you're objectifying, which Vanessa was saying, that okay, you look like that, but you can kick ass as well. But you can always, even though you could be fat, literally like big, I mean, a heavyweight category where you could be great kicks and punches you could have and still covered and do it. Like for example, I know one of the, and I don't remember the name, but one of the cast members, Kelly told me she will come on the project, but she will not wear anything short and covered. And Kelly had no problems with that. The producer told her, and Kelly's like, immediately I was right there. She's like, no, no problem. If she's a good martial artist, I'm very happy to have her. And she did come on the set. So I think that was a great experience I had.
Yeah, that
okay,
was Lori, and she, because of her religion, she said she had certain parts of her body that she could not show, and I was like, absolutely no problem. But to Neetu's points, very specifically, when a director starts out a project and they get a costume designer on board, the costume designer comes to you and presents what's called mood boards, look boards, whatever, and what she has in mind, or he. But in this particular case, she had us in mind for the project. And the first pass, you guys probably don't know this, the first pass was hot, slutty, total boobs hanging out everywhere, your ass showing and I said, no, that is not happening on this movie. And I was praying that the producers were going to back me because, as as a director, my bosses are the producers and they could trump me, and they could completely go against that. But I said, I do not want the women to look slutty. I don't want them objectified. This is not a movie about them being objectified. It's a movie about them being able to fight, and they're being trafficked for their fight abilities. They're not being trafficked because they're sexy or hot or or anything sexual. In fact, there was a note that came down from Sony that they didn't even want any implications that the women were being raped or sexually molested or sexually assaulted in any way. They didn't want the film to be about that, which is typically involved in trafficking. But that's why this film is so unique, because this particular human trafficking element was like they were trafficked for their fight abilities. So yes, the women, we had agreed that once they were going onto the fight stage, they would have makeup on and their hair done and look pretty, but it was not about objectifying the wardrobe. And I really pushed that. And I was super, super grateful that the producers backed me on it. And so once you see the film, you will see the word. Oh, are you kidding? I would be so upset if I had to be forced. And I'm not going to, I'll give you an example, guys, and I'm not going to name any names, but there was a film that I was involved in recently where I was in a similar situation, and and all the power was taken away from me, and I didn't want to objectify women. It's like, who the fuck, can I swear on this?
Absolutely.
Who the fuck would, thank you. Who the fuck would hire a female director and then you expect her to objectify women? That's just plain old dumb. So, but in that case, the producer did take over the creative controls and put the women in uncomfortable wardrobe, and that put me in a very precarious position and a horrible position. So from the future on out, I think I'm going to have these conversations early with producers and be like, hey, you do realize you hired a female director, right? And my goal is not going to be to objectify the women. It's going to be to empower them and film them for their character, their acting prowess, and their fight ability if it's a fight movie. Anyway, I obviously, you could tell I'm very passionate about this, but great. It's funny you came up with this question. It's a great question, and it was definitely presented to me as the stereotypical let's slutty up the women, and I put a stop to that immediately. So Vanessa, you'll see you'll see when you see the movie.
Yeah. Vanessa, I know you're gonna have to get going soon, so give me your take on this.
No, I absolutely 100% agree. I think what Kellie and Neetu said, and especially Kellie said that about the wardrobe, it's about practicality as well. In real life fighting, I fight on a daily basis. We don't wear that. We don't wear slutty clothes. Like, are you kidding me? That's impractical.
Yeah.
True.
You know what I mean? It's better to show, like, it's better to have clothes on so you can see the blood of the fighter to score points. It doesn't make sense. You know, if you, and it is practicality basis, honestly. And that was a good point that Kellie did, because who fights outside in like a two-piece? Can we just, come on, you know?
Actually, we cover more. We cover it more. Sports bra and the t-shirt and the jacket and legging and kneecap and shoes. We are literally covered everywhere.
Well, I also like authenticity. The wardrobe should be authentic to what it is. Like, take, for example, you brought up Michelle Yeoh, one of my favorites. Take her in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, right? Mm-hmm. They had these gorgeous, authentic costumes, and that were covered every inch of their body, but they were able to fight, and you saw the body, and just the motions were beautiful. And you don't need to objectify the women when they're that powerful. Just let them fight. Exactly. And that's just one example, but it's got to fit the story as well. So anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And for better or for worse, the audience for action films does tend to skew heavily male. So that might be contributing to a lot of it. And obviously I do not condone that at all. But when you're talking about your audience, do you often hear from female members of the audience about the impact that you're having led production out there for them to be able to look up to? Have you, Vanessa, you probably haven't heard much yet because this is your first film, but are you aware of the kind of impact that you could be making on these impressionable girls that are in the audience watching?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as a fighter myself, I train daily, and the fact that people are like, oh my God, you punch boys for like daily. I'm like, oh yeah. We're not seen as male, female. We're equal in the ring, right? And the fact that a girl can look up to it, or I don't know, you don't have to even say little girl, it just be like, oh wow, you can be badass and kick ass and be feminine at the same time. We can't just be, oh yeah, as Neetu said, this little damsel in distress. We're women. We're so multifaceted. You can't just place us in one box,
Yeah. Kellie, what about you on that?
Oh yeah, she's 100% right. It's just so exciting to watch too these women grow and what we did in this film, and I haven't gotten that feedback yet from women, but I will say on the note of what you're saying about males being the primary audience member of action films. I don't know if that's true, because when I talk to some of my studio the heads of studios, they say that women are the biggest ones in horror genre. And women go to genre in general. They're the ones dragging their boyfriends to those kinds of things. So I don't know if that's true, but even if it is true, so far the feedback that I've gotten, 90% of the feedback from the male audience is on The Gate. They love it. They love watching a woman kicking ass. I mean, you said you liked it, so it doesn't have to be isolating men, And then we've gotten great feedback from the journalists so far on this film, where they're like still enjoying the movie, even though it's not watching a male fight. They're like, I literally got an email this morning saying the women are amazing. I was emotionally invested. It's like men have emotions too. You guys might not want to admit it or whatnot, but you do have emotions too. And so I want the audience, whether you're male or female, to be rooting for the characters and really enjoying taking this journey with them. And then when there is a revolution, a revolt at the end of the movie, you're excited and you're in your seat, like rooting for these characters, whether they're male or female. So I don't think a good story is a good story. And I don't think it has to be categorized as, that's where the mistake is. And the one producer I was talking about on the other movie, he kept thinking, oh, this is for a male audience, so my women better be hot. And I'm just like, that's so old school thinking, and that's so stupid. And you tell us from a male perspective, like, and you tell me, like, what type of movie do you need to see? Or is it just a story is a story?
So the reason that I liked The Gate had nothing to do with it being a female lead or anything like that. The action was amazing. The story was so cool. And I mean, Amy Johnson is just such an amazing martial artist. And to have her mix it up and just have that action be so real and so raw and just wall to wall, just kicking ass. That was what drew me in and made that film connect with me. It was just straight action, awesome characters, and it was a great story. So that's what made that film good for me. It wasn't that there was a hot female lead in it, even though Amy Johnson is hot and amazing.
Right.
Yeah,
and by the way, she was cast specifically for her skill sets. She just happens to be stunningly beautiful. So does Vanessa and Neetu. They happen to be stunningly beautiful, but they're cast for their acting abilities and their fight skill sets, like period, end of story. So, but yeah, I agree with you. And then Chachup, talk
awesome.
about, the women, but Chachup and the Indonesians, like, I want to work with them every day. Like, I'd put them in any movie, So it's like whoever has the skill sets is who I want to work with, male or female, both.
Well, that'll bring me to the next point then, because the skill sets are so important to be able to carry that story forward. Because you can tell if the people on screen are kind of faking it. So for the actors to be able to actually have that skill set makes it that much more real to audience members who are a little bit more discerning about that kind of thing. If you're just looking for just some kind of empty action, you can watch anything. But if you see actors that know what they're doing and know how to put their body into the right places and move in space correctly, that makes it more real for us. So you have actual martial artists here in Neetu and in Vanessa. So you guys, how important was it to be able to bring that martial arts skill to this role? And how cool was it to be able to put that on screen and make it part of the story? Vanessa, give me your take.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was so cool that Kellie allowed us to do that. She knew our skill sets to put forward into screen, and I don't think a lot of directors would do that. You know what I mean? I think a lot of actually, you do this, this looks good. I think it looks good. We'll go with that. You know what I mean? I think she was so sure how to direct it in that way. And yeah, I mean, my training, I'm a Muay Thai fighter transitioning into MMA. So I know especially when there's fight scenes in MMA and Muay Thai, that's not going to work in a fight. Are you kidding me? That judge is not going to score you that way. You know what I mean? and it looks too fake. And it's about being real. I mean, right? That's on screen. It's being relatable to that person. So yeah.
Neetu, how about you?
Well, it's not a secret that Kelly loves action movies, action. It's so I will tell you a scene where I'm working. It is literally a fight, and before that, I would just say that Kelly doesn't stop. She won't say cut until if she starts enjoying your fight behind the monitor, then you are dead. You are dead killing the person whom I'm supposed to be killing. And and she's having fun of her lifetime without saying cut. She's like, do it, do it, do it, keep doing it. So there
She wants
was
more.
fine. Yeah, she just so there was this rehearsals going on. I was supposed to be on the fight climax scene. I was supposed to be fighting this guy, and she was seeing on the monitor she must have not got convinced of the heart she has. She was 60% convinced. She comes and she grabs my hand and she takes me in the corner. She says, you know the meaning of killing? Understand the meaning of killing? Just kill that man. I was like, no, Kelly, no, Kelly, I will do it once you say action when we are shooting, because in the rehearsals I'll do like a little bit. She's like, yeah, I'm going to say action now. So when she said action, whatever was told, this is how the choreography is done, and the fight is done. After that, I'm waiting for Kelly to say cut so I can stop. But the protocol is you don't stop until your director you hear cut. But I'm not able to hear cuts because there is no cuts. Kelly ever said she enjoyed me beating that man up and up, and I repeated the whole sequence again of what was taught to me, and then added more punches and my elbows and my knees, and I'm killing him. He must have not got up for next 10 days, I promise you. And I was still doing and doing and doing, and it just happened because thank God I have a martial arts background, so I kept adding at that point of time more kicks to literally please my director, who was not saying cut to the fight, which was enjoying so much. So think of it, how much audience will enjoy that. So I will tell you that added to the whole thing. Secondly, so to do the same real thing on screen, there has to be a balance also of acting. So if what we do on, you would all of us would understand what we are doing in tournaments, and I have played 7 nationals and all of, we really fight. Here you are working with a co-actor, so we need to have the skills of acting skills of knowing the reality shown through the camera plus your real thing too. So the balance between acting fight and the real fight has to come in a point where you don't hurt people, because on the sets you do hurt your co-actors, and this is not the end of a tournament to get a gold medal or silver. It is you have to also respect and be careful that the actor has to keep working with other projects as well. So you have to be very careful of not hit, because you never know with all these hitting who is hurting whom where, and that person can anytime, and that's the profession is acting. And this is, of course, a very strong, asset to have, because you mentally understand. And as before you asked this question, you were asking the question of what kind of image or impression the women especially will get through this movie. I would say, as far as physical strength is concerned, yes, but mentally they will be very strong seeing this movie, because mentally this movie allows you to feel strong, empowered, unity together to start everything, standing on your own, being very confident to represent yourself in front of the society and fighting the worst. This movie is going to get that to everyone in this world.
All right. So on that note, and Kelly, I'm going to give you the last word on this, because it's already been 40 minutes. I can't believe that we've gone through the time so quickly.
Oh
I
no,
would
he
talk with
just
you guys
came
forever.
in.
I know. So let me do this, because I know Vanessa does have to leave. But Vanessa, obviously, Never Back Down Revolt comes out November 16th. So everybody, it'll be streaming. It'll be on digital. So keep it up and get that into your brains. Vanessa, give me your take on what the audience can take away from this film.
Action, action, action. Lots of action. And I think they better be ready. They're not gonna leave their seats, so they better have to go to the toilet before, take a water, and they're gonna have so much fun. It's fun, you know.
Good. That's good. Neetu, how about you?
I I said it all. The people
Yeah.
have to go out not only for the physical action, mental strength, confidence, to see a literally an action director who is, and I'm going to call Kelly an action director, not a female action director. Action director to put something like that against all odds. She has put a beautiful creation right there, and it is a must-watch movie. It's totally opposite of what you have seen in 1, 2, 3 of Never Back Down. We're very proud that Sony could pull off something like this, getting a fantastic director like Kelly, and we need more of her.
Excellent.
Oh,
Kelly,
thank you.
you have the last word here. So,
Thank
what
you.
can audiences expect, and what do you want them to take away from this film?
I just love the message of empowerment, and even though it's fun and there's action, there is a more profound message in the sense of that you can't, if you're being suppressed or oppressed in any way, shape, or form by someone, you can rise up and you can fight back. And that message is metaphorical in all of our lives. If there's
Yes.
something you're struggling with, or all of us women, Neetu and I connected right away because we both come from, you know, meager backgrounds where women don't normally achieve these great things, and we're striving for big amazing things. And so that's what this movie represents to me. It just means that you're literally trying to break through these glass ceilings, and that's what all these gorgeous, amazing, empowered women do in this movie. So I think it's exciting and inspirational.
Amazing. Vanessa, Neetu, Kelly, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for bringing more of the female voice to film and to action film. Again, as a dad of three girls, I appreciate what you're doing, and I'm looking forward to Never Back Down Revolt. November 16th, the film is going to be out there. Kelly, let us know where they can get it.
Yeah, it's available anywhere on digital, on demand, DVD, Blu-ray. So you could pretty much find it anywhere. And then after a certain period of time, it'll be on a streamer as well. But we haven't been told which streamer yet. But check out all of our socials. So I don't know if you could leave socials for the gals. Mine is at Director Madison on Insta and Twitter, and then Kellie Madison on Facebook. And then we'll constantly be giving everyone updates. But please go see the film and tell your friends, and buy dozens of the DVDs for stocking stuffers for Christmas. I mean, hello, what a great Christmas gift.
And gifting
Perfect.
people.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
hello.
amazing. So definitely do that Monday, November 16th. So Never Back Down Revolt will be out. And again, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to throw it back to Demetrius.
Thank
Thank you so
Absolutely.
you.
much.
Thank
This
you
Thank you.
was
Thank
guys.
you.
This
Thank
was
you.
incredible, incredible. Thank you to all our guests, Vanessa Campos, Kellie Madison, Neetu Chandra Srivastava, and of course, Jeff Vita of Kung Fu Driving Theater. Up next, 5 o'clock p.m. Shang-Chi behind the action. We've got Andy Chang. We got Joseph Lee. All right. We've got Malay Kim. All right. You guys don't want to miss this. So stay tuned. We've got more action for you at UASE VEX 2021. And we'll be back in about 15 minutes. All right. Us.